Folks, this is the Chad Factor coming at you, back at you again. Just been preparing for school, taking a break from my radio show for a month to try to get into the school mode, and took a little vacation and a little R&R to relax because a lot of stuff has been going on. But in this video, I would love and are going to talk about the Confederate flag debate, and I will talk about the Bill Cosby situation. So let's get started. And to start off, what I'm trying to say, I will say that I agree with the Confederate flag or the Confederate battle flag of being brought down from state buildings and government buildings. Okay, I agree with that, and I concur with that. Not because of what the media is saying about it having a history of racism, it being used for racist reasons, but because the North won the war, and throughout history, whether it's African history, Roman history, war history, Asian history in general, the victor of the war gets to fly the flag. The loser never gets to fly their flag. That is the rule of war. So let's get that straight. All right. But basically, how this seems to have started about all this vitriol, because 15 or 16, 17 years ago, I never heard anything about this flag or what what people say it represents or racism or any of that. It basically what happened is this Dylan Roof kid. Whether you believe the government did it or not, I personally believe that the government had a part in this. But at the same time, he does need to rot in prison because he did it, and he could have at least stopped himself from being under mind control. So he needs to get life in prison and let him rot. Okay. But these 9 people died, including a state senator, and he was waving the Confederate battle flag. So pretty much after this happens, and after there's pictures of him, and it's been revealed that in his manifesto that Council of Conservative Citizens ignited him. Pretty much what's going on is that now this is the symbol, the get-to symbol to get rid of, burn, crash people's driveways, go to their houses and destroy it, take it, and just do whatever they want with. I believe it's called the No Flaggers Challenge, and then you got people desecrating the memorials and all the other stuff of Confederate graves. All right, but I didn't see people talking about this and doing this in 15 or so years ago. Now, people have tried to get rid of this flag for a long time. I believe Georgia did it with the NAACP, and other organizations did, even though the NAACP really has no merit because you had a white woman trying to act black, and she was the president of one of the NAACP chapters. So I really don't take this whole situation seriously. And shout out to Andrew Young for saying that we need to focus on the 93% of black people killing black people than just the Confederate flag and issues in Atlanta, and the Confederate flag is a non-issue. So people are saying that this is the symbol of whiteism, that this is the most terrible symbol anybody can wear. It is a symbol of racism and hatred. It has been used for it, but I believe if some people believe that it's a symbol of their heritage or what they saw as Southern aggression, then they could do whatever they want to do with it. Because the war was not just fought over, it was not fought over slavery. It was against the Northern aggression. And I get the conversation about the slavery and all that other crap, but all I'm trying to say is that the protractors or the people who were not, no. Okay, maybe the higher ups were doing that, but not the people who were actually doing the fighting. Kind of sounds like America. But what I want to do is go through some pictures of things that I've not really looked into, but looking into now. And which is why if people want to overall ban this, then some crazy things are going to happen. So, okay, sorry. Hold on. So, what's this picture? Can you see it? This is the American flag. Who's in this picture holding this? Klan members. What are they holding? They're holding the American flag. Now, what's this? These are Klan members holding the American flag. Okay. So let's get a little bit deeper. Like people say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So you're going to get your 1,000 words. I'm just showing you evidence. I give evidence, I give facts, I don't BS on my videos. So a picture's worth 1,000 words, so it's factual. Now, what's this they're coming out of? This is the Klan again. And what are they coming out of? They're coming out of a church, a Christian church. Now, what's this picture? Okay. I believe I lost that picture. Wait. Hold on for a second. Sorry about that, folks. Now, what's this? It's another picture of Jesus Saves. Christian church. So pretty much, so far, one more picture. This is another hate-filled symbol for black people. And this is the Islamic flag. Now, if you read history and look into this book right here, Destruction of Black Civilization by Dr. Chancellor Williams, you'll find out that the slavery under this flag lasted longer and was more expansive than American chattel slavery, as said in this book. And if you think I'm BSing, do your research and calculate your research, because the narrative is that American slavery was the worst slavery. No, it was not, but it was second to the Arabic Islamic slave trade, which is said in this book. But pretty much, the point of me making this video is not in support of Confederacy or Confederacy generals. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you really feel so strong and so much hatred for this, for the generals, for the flag, you want to burn it. It's a representation of racism, of this. So why aren't you, which some people are burning and doing things to the American flag, but why aren't you digging up the graves of George Washington, of Thomas Jefferson, of Benjamin Franklin, of most of the founding fathers of this country? Why aren't you trying to take down the Capitol building, the White House, a lot of the buildings in New York, a lot of the buildings up north, whether it's up north, down south? A lot of that stuff was made by us. Why don't you try to tear that down or break it down? Why do you want to do all this? This is why I'm saying that if this, like I said, I agree with the flag being put down from the Capitol building. But if you overall banned the Confederate flag and not let people wear anything, there's going to be more and more and more and more and more and more things banned. Islamic flag, Christian Bible, Christian cross, take down the Capitol building, take down the White House. You got to take down a lot of symbols that people say represent racism or represent oppression. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is that I think people should let them fly what they want to fly and let us fly what we want to fly. I'm flying the red, black, and green, and I'm also flying an Alex Jones flag, InfoWars flag, because I'm a big fan of his show, and his show is hecka good, and I love his expressions. Okay, and you can mimic me or try to make fun of me. I don't care what you say. As a radio show host, him, Pastor Manning, Tommy Sotomayor, are pretty much very, very good radio show hosts. I like their personalities, and they're by their own merit and by their own man. So I like all of them. But this is my point. I understand that under the Confederate flag there was black codes and Jim Crow, and with the Civil War and people who were lynched and killed in the South, there were hundreds of thousands of people who died. Okay? Under the American flag alone, millions of Native Americans died. And let's not get started with how many black people died on the ships off the transatlantic slave trade under the American flag and the good ship Jesus, which was one of the first ships that came in. Okay? So let's not talk about that. Let's not get into that when I see people compare the Confederate flag to the Nazi flag. Let's not get into on the Nazi flag 6 million people were killed. How many people do you think were killed under the American flag? Okay, thought so. So what I'm trying to say is that even with Jim Crow, even with racism, even with a totalitarian racist society, okay, that even though nothing was fair, things were not equal, that we did have our own businesses, our own economic structure. We had our own black self-defense groups, which you can read a book called the book. I'm sorry. You can read the book This Nonviolent Stuff Gets You Killed, How Guns Helped Make the Civil Rights Movement Happen. You can read books like this that talked about self-sufficient behavior. And this is what people are talking about like this, okay? You need to read this man's work who talked about our successes before integration, Mr. Thomas Sowell. You can read this man's take on going to Tuskegee, Herman Russell, who him alone, and he'll tell you, well, he passed away, but he'll tell you that even through segregation and racism, even though people were going to jail for protests and everything like that, you just pay a fine and you can get a person out. Okay? He worked to get people out of prison, but even though these racist people were surprised, they could not deny the fine, and you pay it, and they got the people out. So they couldn't just not take the money to get the people out. So, and I'm not saying that all things were well and good. I'm just saying that as a community, even under that situation, we had businesses, we had self-defense, we had our own thing going on. So I am not going to sit here and compare. It was still oppression, but I will not compare it to the Rhodesian or South African apartheid, which also the Rhodesian flags was on Mr. Dylan Roof's shoulder area, which no one seems to recognize. So it was nothing like the South African apartheid that our brothers faced in South Africa, and it's not like the Israeli apartheid that Palestinians or Africans did, because they have no power, they have no influence, they can't even use weapons. So we did do all that. So I just want to speculate that, because I get tired of people saying that it's weak and everything. So what I'm trying to say is that the sins, I believe the South is trying to come to grips with its sins and with its racism. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a huge contingency of black people moving back down to the South. Okay, I think that what people need to realize is that they need to try to get their own thing going on and try to wear our own thing instead of trying to ban everybody else's. Because if we keep doing this, if we keep going this way, then the people who light that flag and those monuments are going to go buck wild and want to start another civil war. And that ain't gonna sit well. That's not gonna end well. They want to go against the government or us. So what I'm trying to say is, and this is what I have a friend in South Carolina proposed this. I say people can wear whatever flags they want, whatever race they want to, And as for the memorials, we should have our own memorial. The Native Americans should have their own memorial. And if the Confederates want to have their own little thing going on, let them do it. But if we're going to dig up graves and take down this stuff, then you have to go to D.C. and do the same thing to the Founding Fathers. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if this whole thing happens the way people want it to happen, then the fall of Rome will be upon us. Let's say this again. The fall of Rome will be upon us. No free speech, no gun rights. You can't do anything. It's going to be a completely totalitarian state. You can't. It just won't benefit us. So people who want the fall of America is not going to benefit us, because we can't do anything. We have no place to go to right now. We have to build here so we can do something. Okay, as a group. That's what I'm trying to say. Whether it's black people, white people, but really, us. That we want to build something here. So that's why I'm saying you do not want the fall of America to happen, because there's some big consequences it's just not to our benefit. So I'm just saying, keep everything stable. Get the flags off all the government buildings, because the South did not win the war. But don't completely ban the flag. Have memorials for black people, Native Americans, and the Confederate soldiers, so everybody can get along. That's what one of my friends from South Carolina, brother out from South Carolina, said. But this is more media manipulation. This is more people trying to press out, trying to gin up, trying to force something to happen. And that's why I'm trying to prevent this and trying to get people not to drink this Kool-Aid. Because if this is got to go, a lot of signs have to go. And I get the history of the flag. I get the history of the Confederacy. But free speech is free speech. Okay, let people do what they want to do. Fly it. As long as they're not harming you or hurting you. Now, there were some reports of some of these Confederate people saying the N-word or throwing stuff at black people. That should not happen. And again, not every person who has the flag is racist, but at the same time, if that does happen, they need to get fined or arrested for what they did. They are thugs and everything like that. Okay, they are thugs. They are bad. They need to get penalized for that. So that's my thoughts on those people doing it. But there needs to be a balance so everybody can get along and nobody has to do any battling, any gunning. People don't have to die. Things don't have to get broken. Just, we have to settle things so everybody can be happy. And so free speech can still remain, and so America won't fall. Because the same people celebrating this won't be happy when the red, black, and green flag or the Alex Jones flag or any other flag, Nation of Islam flag, goes down. So that's my point. Now that I talked about that and got that off my chest, I'm going to talk about Bill Cosby. Even though I've done so much for the black community, just because I go to the producer and the banking and the tinking and the popping the pills and the pitching and the you know, I've done so much for the black community. I gave millions of dollars to historically black colleges and universities. I brought black exploitation films. I promoted education for my black children. I have done so much for the black community. Even though I'm producing the popping the pills and doing this, you forgave that rapper. What's that rapper's name? Hold on. The rapper that peed on the girl. You forgave R. Kelly. You forgive the pastors who do all this stuff in the black community. Bang the boys, bang the girls. So, okay, I'm done with the doing the funny. But my point is, folks, is that even though Bill Cosby admitted to giving preludes to women, it does say he gave preludes, but he said he gave preludes under their consent. And basically, if you're saying that Bill Cosby is a rapist, okay, every man who bought a drink for a woman is a rapist too. Because what purpose are you giving the girl to be doing the drinking? What purpose is it, man? Come on now. What's the purpose? I mean, yeah, you could be just trying to, make a conversation, understand that. But I mean, usually they want to get a girl drunk. It's not like he's putting these pills in these drinks. No, he said it was under their consent that he gave them the pills to do it. Okay? Now, understandably, he did. Well, some people say this is not even real, and that could be true. They could be just funneling all of this to try to misrepresent this man's reputation because he's trying to buy NBC and he's trying to build up black people as a group. But he cheated on his wife, and I get that. He made mistakes while he was doing his actions. I think this is before he was preaching this, but I mean, at the same time, people, even if this man has these faults, you cannot let go of this man's actions. Making black exploitation films, teaching about how black children need to learn their history and learn where they come from. The Bill Cosby Show, having that family unit about building up and bringing up the black community. The millions he has given. The stars he started off with. Without Bill Cosby, there would be no Will Smith. There would be no D.L. Hughley. There would be no Tyler Perry, even though I hate him because he's pushing the homosexual agenda. Okay? Making black men wear dresses. Bill Cosby would never do that, but y'all love Tyler Perry. But not Bill Cosby, who wanted heterosexual couples to marry. Y'all make me sick, man. Loving Neek Leaks and Housewives of Atlanta. Get out of here with all that. Bill Cosby made some mistakes, but god dang it, he's a good man. And I love him to death. He committed some sins. He did wrong. But you cannot get this man's legacy off. You are not going to take away his gravestone. You are not going to take it away. And I get sick of people saying he talked down to black people. This is what all the white liberals and the young Turks and the pro-black people are using. If you want to understand true white supremacy and true black power that you see it, you can't look at another than Bill Cosby or Michael Jackson, because they did the same thing to Michael Jackson. They are trying to steal all his wealth because he was getting too big for his britches. He was trying to buy Sony. He was getting the Elvis Presley records, okay, and he was on his way to the top. But then suddenly these child molestation charges came up. Suddenly, it just came out the blue. And even though he was found innocent of these charges, people still to this day talk about him like a dog and have all these shows depicting him as a child molester. That's all they're trying to do. And it's the same thing with Bill Cosby, because they're trying to break this man so bad that he'll die and he can't give his wealth to anybody. And if his wealth just squanders away, that's more black wealth leaving. It's more. You're taking down one of the main people within the American black community to lift up black people and try to do something for black people. You are tearing him down. But the white people are not doing anything to Woody Allen. They're not doing anything to Marilyn Monroe. They're not trying to tarnish John F. Kennedy, even though he bedined so many women's. Not trying to do anything to the founding fathers. Not trying to do anything to anybody. But yet we're trying to beat down and bash Bill Cosby all because of what he said, what he wanted to represent, how he talked to the black community, and the pound cake speech. Because, see, I get why some people get annoyed when black people just talk to black people any kind of way but don't do anything. I can see why people get frustrated, but Bill Cosby's done some things. A lot of things. All I'm saying is I still love and respect Bill Cosby as a show. The show should be back on TV One. He should get his network back, because you have a lot of pedophiles and people who admitted they did stuff to their children and have their shows still on. But Bill Cosby gets accused, and now he admits, he admit about Preludes, but the pedophile people like that are still on the damn air. So, and for all the people who are bashing him and going down on him, and for all the colleges that have gave the money, who took his money, give it back. All the people who got his help, give back all the money that he gave to you, and you too. Just give all the money back. Just do it. because you'll lose your credibility if you keep all this money. So this is my video about Bill Cosby. Still stand on Bill Cosby. That's my brother. He's messed up. We all mess up. He's a man like everybody else, and you can't let this man's actions go to waste. This is a Chad Factor out. More videos will come on different topics. I hope all of you have a wonderful night.